Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steph and this is Ordinary Plant Girl. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you are returning, thank you so much for spending more of your time with me. Today is a plant chore day. In my last video you would have seen that I was talking about getting my plants ready for fall. So there's a few things that I do in order to make that happen. I do try to repot any plants that need to be repotted, or I do have a couple that I'm just moving into a different pot just for aesthetic reasons. If I do need to repot over the winter, I will. I just try to get the ones that need to be done before fall hits. Because I have grow light bulbs or grow lights in almost every area of my home, I can pretty much simulate their conditions all year round, so that is not a problem. But I would prefer to at least take the fall and winter off of having to do any repotting. I do have a couple of plants that I need to repot. I will be doing a little bit of pest prevention, so that will mean I'm cleaning leaves. I do clean with there's several different things I use. I used to use neem oil. I'm not so big on that anymore. But I do use an alcohol spray mixed with a little bit of peppermint and a little bit of Castile soap. So that I find it does wonders with cleaning the leaves and also helps prevent pests. I will probably be doing that with my larger plants today. I do have a few plants that need to come out of moss and be put into pots. Hopefully they're ready. I can see leaves growing on one of them right now. So that's my Philodendron gribbianum. We had issues with that, and because it's growing a new leaf now, I'm hoping that we are kind of over that hump. But besides that, it's just going to be a few chores here and there. I'm just kind of going to roll with it and see how long this takes. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and if I can split a long video into shorter videos, then that obviously works for me. So if that is something you are interested in, please stick around. So now I am going to check my Philodendron gribbianum, which is currently right here and really dry. Hopefully it has enough root growth though for a small pot, which I forgot to get. I do have a nursery pot here, so that's fine. So this is my gribbianum. I did have problems with it not growing any roots. It has literally been in moss pretty much the entire time I've had it. I went to go put it in soil, and that's when I noticed that there had been no root growth, so I put it back in moss. I'm pretty sure that's how it went with this one. But now you can see here that it has put out a new leaf. And since it has put out a new leaf, I'm assuming that there are roots down here. So we're gonna get it into a pot and hope that that helps it out a little bit more. So I'm going to change my camera angle and you guys can see what I'm doing. So I am in a new space at the moment, and until I can figure out the best situation for filming, we are just using this big giant box right here, and that's just the way it's got to be for now. Okay, so you can see here that my gribbianum just leans over constantly, which is another reason why I wanted to check this. I was going to water it the other day, but I didn't because I knew I was going to be doing this. So I just have a nursery pot here, and then my little cashpo, which is completely filthy. I'll clean that out later. And we're just gonna take a look at this one and see what's going on. Either way, because it has a new leaf that's unfurling, I'm gonna be putting it in soil. I'm not leaving it in moss. Okay. So what have we got going on here? Although I should have probably moistened the moss before attempting to pull this off. Oh, it's still a little bit damp here at the bottom, just not at the top. But still, I'm not seeing anything promising. I don't know what it is about this plant. I imported this one from Equigenera back in March? Yeah. And it just does not, like, it's still alive, thank goodness, but it's just not. Oh. Okay, now I'm seeing some roots. I'm always so paranoid with moss, just when it comes to finer roots. I mean, I'm sure that everybody has those issues, and I don't like to let them sit too much in moss. I mean, moss is definitely my preferred rooting method. For me, it's just making sure that I get them out of the moss before they get too entwined with it, because then I get scared I'm gonna break roots. But as far as a rooting medium, moss has never steered me wrong. And it's okay if there's still a little bit of moss left on here. I think that's a root. This little cluster right here, I'm kind of not sure what's happening. Not sure if it's roots or moss or a little bit of both. But it's okay if there's a little bit left on it, because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put this in my anthurium mix, just so that it's super chunky and stuff. But so now you can see that it's got a little bit of a root ball, which is good. This is the part where I'm kind of not sure what's going on, but I'm just going to leave that, and we're going to pot this one up. So it was in a 3-inch little plastic see-through cup. Now I'm just going to put it into a 4-inch And I'm gonna have to put it in there with the stake as well. So let's do that. So since I'm using my aeroid mix, it is a super chunky mix. Let me show you. Now it does have worm castings in there. It's got, oh, I forgot to add some pumice that a friend gave me to try. Anyway, but it's got chunky perlite. It's got medium grade orchid bark, or fir bark, whichever one it is. It's got worm castings. I think it's got a little bit of coco coir in there. I can't remember if I put any in, and it's got charcoal. So it just makes it super, super chunky. And my anthuriums really like it. So hopefully this one, this philodendron, will like it as well. I was using 2 different mixes, one for anthuriums and one for all my other aerids. But I think that in the end, I'm just going to primarily make the mix that I use for my anthuriums and just adjust it. Because my vining plants, I like them to be a little bit more dense, I guess, with soil, just to keep them, or coco coir, whatever. I like it to be a little bit more dense just to keep them moist longer. But for my philodendrons, and my anthuriums, I like them to be super airy. And then hopefully it won't fall over anymore. And I could add slow release fertilizer, but I'm not going to do that right away either because there is worm castings in here for now. And then later on, I will probably do that. So I'm just going to reattach this to the post. Now hopefully by spring I will be able to take this one and propagate it. But so far so good. I will just put that aside and I will water it in after. I'm gonna put it back in here and see, it's just not firm enough. It just wants to fall over because of these leaves. But okay, so that one is done. Okay, so next up I have my Scindapsus exotica. This one was cool. Actually, the label still just says Scindapsus with a question mark because I had ordered an exotica and a silver splash from Etsy, and when I got them, all of the leaves fell off and all I had was wet sticks left. I mean, when I got them, they were in pretty sad condition. And then I left the wet sticks for months and months and months, and then out of the 4 wet sticks that I had, one started to grow, and I didn't know what it was. So it was like the mystery Scindapsus until it grew this leaf here. And because the silver splash and the exotica patterns on the leaves are so different, it was easy to tell that it was an exotica. And then I got this leaf here, which is just classic exotica leaf. And I really, really wanted an exotica. I've got a Silverian and I've got an Argyrius. Argyriuses are just so common that you can find them pretty much anywhere here. A Silverian I got in a trade, just a cutting, and it's up on the shelf. I will have to show you that shelf one day. Yeah, anyway, I wanted to put the Scindapsus into this 4-inch tall T4U pot, just for aesthetic reasons, really, because the shelf that I have them on, this pot, which I painted and I do love, just doesn't match what's going on up there. So it's getting a new home for now. So let's see what we can do. And this soil is still pretty good as far as I know. And because of the bacteria, the good bacteria that plants make when they're growing, I always like to try and keep some of, if not in this case, a lot of the soil that it was growing in, in the new pot. Like, see, it doesn't really have a really big root system, much bigger than it was when I put it in this pot. But we're gonna just use this soil because I know it is still good. And now you can see what I mean by the difference in my aeroid mix and my anthurium mix. So when I'm potting up vining plants, the soil is much more dense. And there are big chunks of perlite in there as well as little chunks of perlite. So it should be all good. And then this one will be able to stay in this pot for a while. The only thing about Scindapsuses, the Exotica anyway, and the Silverian, is they seem to be really slow growers. So that just, it's gonna take me longer to propagate them. But they are under grow lights, so hopefully I will be able to do some propagating over winter. And it's funny because I actually do quite a bit of propagating over the winter, or the fall and winter, or that I hope that they grow well enough by spring that they can be potted up and stuff, or I can give some of them away. We'll see. We're gonna see how this new space does for my plants. They actually seem to be liking it so far. And most of them now are actually in a closer vicinity to me than they were. Like, I can see them. I just went from a 3-bedroom upstairs, or 3-bedroom upstairs, and I've moved into like a 1-bedroom rec room type thing downstairs. I mean, I really don't need that much space, but because I had plants all over the house, now they're all with me. I've got quite the little jungle going on. Okay, and there we go. There is my Scindapsus exotica, looking super cute in these little brown pots. I mean, I know that they're brown. They kind of look a little bit more purple to me, which is fine. But I've got them in so many different sizes now. My plants just love them. Okay, now we are good. Okay, and I think the last thing I have to pot up is I've got these propagations here. So this is just a jar that's got pearls and jade in it, and some emerald green pothos, and then for some reason just this one random golden pothos leaf. But what I wanted to do, my intention was to plant the emerald green and the pearls and jade together. So the pot that I took the exotica out of, this one right here, I think is gonna look really good with them. So I'm just gonna use this pot and pot these guys up. My old neighbor had all these cat litter tubs, and I took a couple of them for my soil mixes, and they are absolutely perfect. Okay, so maybe what I should do is all this out of the way. And I have no intention of really sorting them out. Look at all those roots. The only thing I want to do is get this one golden pothos leaf out of here, because it does not need to be in here for what I'm doing. And that was super easy. I think I'm going to use this one for an experiment. But yeah, so I'm just going to keep them clustered together like that. And there's a couple of leaves here that were growing underwater. So I hope that those are going to be okay, but probably not. Oh, you know what? I probably do have to separate them. I am going to have to separate them for this, just to make sure that I don't bury the new growth. Oh, see, and this one here doesn't have a root on it, but it does have a new growth point. I always find that interesting. This one too just has a itty bitty root system. This one as well, no roots at all. It's probably a good idea that I separated them. I mean, it actually made like quite a full little pot. There aren't as many emerald green ones in here as I would have liked, but it's still going to add that nice contrast that I wanted. The soil will settle once I water it in, and it looks like a little bit of a gong show right now, but I will keep you updated on what it looks like as it grows, because I think it's going to do amazingly now that it has been put into soil and taken out of water. That is it, I think, for the repotting portion of this video. Okay guys, I think I'm just gonna finish some things up here by doing some watering. This is still kind of an ongoing process. You will see more of me getting my plants ready for fall, but for now I think that I've taken up enough of your time. So, yep, I'm just gonna take you around, water a few plants, and then that'll be that. guys, that is it for me. I hope you are all safe and well. Leave any comments down below. I love talking to you guys. And please like and consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!